Once you pick it's time to join the Clippers and test your build in a game against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, and it's my player picking up the assist.
And if you're not feeling one of your builds, you have the ability to make 6 total builds and play 1 test game for each one.
I don't know if the...
And the player introductions are wrapped up. The starting... The 2K Sports pregame show. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA on 2K Sports. And here's a look at some numbers for Barrett.
And, guys, how about the surge of offense he's experiencing right now? These last 5 games, he's been a machine at the offensive end. A different scorer than he had been earlier in the season. We'll find out if he can keep it going here tonight.
And now the New York Knicks starters. It's Randall and Robinson at the 4 and the 5. Barrett and Knox are the wingmen. And it's Ntilikina in at the point. And for Dallas, Enes Kanter is out there with Porzingis. Then there's Doncic, and it's Finney-Smith in at the 3. A lot of trade rumors beginning to swirl now, Brent. Several teams out there trying to add talent, and sometimes it comes at the expense of team chemistry.
It can, and I think teams who are very, very aware of their potential to be into the playoffs are careful to tinker with that. If they know they're going to have an opportunity to play in the postseason, the additions that they have to make, Kevin, they have to understand that that player coming in is great for us, but how is it that that player comes in? Who does it affect in our locker room?
Or they make a trade or don't make a trade because they're worried about team chemistry and how it'll be affected.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, I'll go back to an addition sometimes into a locker room with just that talent may affect the talent you already have. And if you're really cognizant of that fact, sometimes not making the deal is the best deal to make.
And so it's New York with it after the miss from George. Randall with the ball, out guarded by Porzingis. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Stolen by George. Now the Mavericks moving it up. Floats it up for Doncic. An emphatic alley-oop jam.
And running with a full head of steam, but completely under control.
Yeah, you think he's comfortable at that speed. He's done it so many times before. Just an absolute blur in transition, and that helps get the rhythm going.
Here's Robinson. After Luka Doncic's bucket. 14 feet away. Shot clock at 6.
Great anticipation there. Porzingis in the right spot and throws that one away.
Off the inbound. This is to George. The first quarter of action, 2 minutes in. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
At the elbow, Randall. He dishes it to Barrett. Randall passes to Knox. Another miss, and they desperately need a bucket.
That's 0 for 4 now. Time to slow it down and maybe get the best possible shot the next time down.
And how about the vision there from Doncic? Can make the easy pass and also the difficult.
Knicks have gone 0 of 4, missing their first 4 field goals.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
And so New York calls timeout. They're first. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
Yeah, their long-range artillery hit the mark more often than not. A great equalizer when you're on the road.
Yeah, they sapped the energy right out of the building in that one. They just were knocking down threes, and it was deflating both for the team and the crowd.
Morris is checked in for Randall. A brief moment here to recognize a player that's really been getting it done. He's earned the Player of the Week in the Western Conference.
Well, he's been an absolute magician when the ball has been in his hands. There isn't any aspect of the offense that he hasn't contributed in, and it's been a pleasure to watch. I mean, unless you are an opposing coach, then his play has been a vivid nightmare.
Porzingis finds George. Two free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
The Mavericks shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line. The first free throw is good. A different look for Dallas. Maxi Kleber, he's checked in for Enes Kanter. Hardaway comes in for Dorian Finney-Smith. And Curry subbed in for Doncic. And then for New York, Dwight Powell's checked in for Robinson. And it's Burke in for Ntilikina. Here's Knox. A 14-point game for him in the win against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. Here's Barrett looking to end the run. Kept alive. Powell. And it's sent back by George. Out of bounds. Dallas takes possession. Smith checked in for New York. Out of bounds. And so it's Dallas with it. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
Yeah, in that game, I thought they took advantage of some sloppy play, but give them credit. They turned mistakes into points.
Yeah, the last game, it felt like they were just feeding off of what they were doing defensively, forcing a lot of those turnovers, and that helps build your defensive confidence.
Now here is Hardaway. The three from George. And it's good. Assisting on the play with Hardaway. And that's now 9 points for George. And so it's Burke who brings up the ball for the Knicks. Nothing yet up on the scoreboard for them. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
Giving up a run here, can they turn it around?
It's hard to say right now. At this point, I've seen the coaches run through 2 or 3 iterations of defense. Is there a fourth? I'm not sure.
And while we've got a chance, let's check out the stats for George. First in scoring, first in steals, and he's a devastating finisher on the inside. The best field goal percentage in the league.
And his scoring abilities are just so far out of sight. #1 overall right now. No one's been able to slow him down or even come close. And the shot goes in.
That wasn't easy. Dennis Smith Jr. with a high degree of difficulty on that one.
Inside, knocks it loose. It's out of bounds. The Mavericks able to retain possession here. Let's go to the 2K leaderboard. These teams have been terrific at turning turnovers into points. The Mavericks #1.
You know, it's not just the turnovers they're forcing. I mean, they're converting at the other end, and you know what? It puts a lot of pressure on you to play perfect.
Now Barrett after the missed three from George.
Time for some consideration in the passing category, maybe, Kevin. The shot is just not on. Get somebody else going.
32 seconds left to play in the first. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
Excellent all-around performance so far, hence the big lead.
Well, if I was baking up a lead, I'd add 2 ingredients. One would be playing smart. The other one, playing selfless. They've done that tonight. Serve it up.
Here's Smith. The Mavericks making the shot. The shot by Powell, no good. George against Smith. Outside, George. Over Smith. And no good on the last second attempt this time. And so it's the Dallas Mavericks. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. Back to the action after this word. Here for the Mavericks. Porzingis, he's checked in for Otto Porter Jr. Doncic comes in for Curry, and George is subbed in for Wright. Mitchell Robinson's checked in for New York. Kevin Knox comes in for Dennis Smith. Back to Knox. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
Just way too easy as Kevin Knox rises up for the dunk.
Mavericks leading by 7. Doncic and Hardaway at the 2 and the 3. And there's Porzingis, and it's George in at the point. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flame.
He's the guy that you want to go to right now, trying to put this one away.
And so it's New York with it, following the three from George.
This is a rough stretch right here for him offensively. Seems to be rushing shots.
And the dunk by Porzingis.
Always the connection with the teammate. That time Porzingis in the right spot.
Knicks trail by 12. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Now, here's Barrett. Guarded by Hardaway. Back to Burke. Floats one. Powell trying to free himself up. Robinson misses.
I'll be honest, I thought there's no way that he's missing that close. That's a bunny. Give it up for the aggressive defense, Kevin.
They've settled into a nice groove offensively here in the second.
Here's Burke after the made shot from George. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Shot to stop the run. Camp it goes, and the Dallas lead is cut down to 12 on the bucket from Burke.
How about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket.
Now, here is George. Defense is right there. And here we go. Burke heading to the hoop. Drops in the breakaway layup. Burke's got his second basket.
And that's how you do it. Impressive play, explosive finish.
Yeah, sweet finishes like that. You see everybody get up. Look at the guys on the bench. They're fired up.
And so it's the Dallas.
Kevin, thank you. Well, All-Star Weekend's coming up, Jay, and you are going to be in the three-point contest. How do you prepare for it?
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow right here on 2K Sports. We played through the first half. Plenty of basketball, though, left in this one. It's been one outstanding game from George.
He's been nothing short of a wall at the rim so far in this one, single-handedly providing great rim protection.
Been aggressive to block shots, but also avoiding fouls. That's a heavy presence inside.
Setting the floor for the Knicks. Knox and Randall, they're the forwards. Ntilikina out there with Barrett, and it's Robinson in at the 5 spot. I often hear about players talk about their favorite spot to fire from on the floor. How much of an effect does that really have, a favorite shooting spot?
Most of the time, Kevin, what you're talking about is star guys, because they're the ones who ultimately in any given possession the coach is trying to find that guy in that spot to do something. What happens throughout the course of a year is when that player has the ball there, everybody else knows what to do. Right. Like the player knows what he's going to do, right, Kevin? Because he's the star player. But everybody around gets comfortable with the options and where it is that he goes. If he goes right, if I slide right, I'm going to get the 3. If he goes left, he's spinning back, I might move towards the top of the key. So the familiarity of not just the player, but the players around the player, that's where you can make it happen.
That's interesting. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, we all know that circumstances and time changes everything. In Dallas, Dennis Smith Jr. thought he was going to be the cornerstone. But with the arrival of Luka Doncic, everything changed. The promising point guard was traded to the Knicks. And Smith said it was important. It's a big opportunity, and I've just got to make the most of it. Kevin, we know one thing in New York, the ball is back in Smith's hand.
DA, that's when he is at his best. Thank you.
More and more as Porzingis is playing these minutes and has these scoring opportunities, he's dealing with the contact much better.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. So it's Ntilikina who brings up the ball for New York. They trail by 7. Over a minute and a half into the third quarter of action. Barrett and Cantor pulls it down. Cantor's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Curry passes to Porzingis. Cantor trying to free himself up, and the shot goes in from Kristaps Porzingis.
They're going to take a little bit more to get Porzingis off of his sweet spot in his offensive game now.
There's Ntilikina, defended by George. Pass to Randall. Now, here is Morris. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. Just 2 to shoot. Can't hit from the elbow.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
If you told me this was the kind of game he was going to have, I would not have expected them to be in front right now.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Out left to the wing. Passes it to Barrett. Some nice passing by New York here. Randall no good.
How about the timing he shows there to challenge that shot?
Yeah, not easy to do there, and that's a guy that you can tell takes every possession defensively very seriously.
Total letdown by the D. Can't leave the bucket unprotected.
Absolutely. Easy 2 points onto the lead.
Will not find a higher percentage opportunity than that.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
Yeah, his shot is just not there tonight, guys. And instead of trying to shoot himself out of the slump, maybe he needs to start moving the ball around and creating for his teammates.
Maxi Kleber, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Hardaway comes in for Dorian Finney-Smith. And then for New York, Powell, he's checked in for Mitchell Robinson. Smith comes in for Julius Randle. And Trey Burke subbed in for Ntilikina. Now, here is George. He's got 17.
A tough matchup for the smaller defender there. Just shot right over the top without thinking twice.
Knicks trail by 14. Stolen by George. And here we go. George heading to the hoop. And George with the stuff.
Boy, you have to be impressed with the offensive production. They have got it firing on all cylinders.
I mean, this team is just dangerous. Right now, every shot that they're putting up feels like it's going in.
And so it's New York with it. The Mavericks making the shot. We've got a quick moment now to take a look at the long-term rebounding numbers over several seasons for Robinson.
On the boards, he's been a much bigger presence these last few years than he had been prior. And he can be counted on now to make an impact with his rebounding. And that's a product of all the work he's put in down low.
Dallas making a switch here. Lights checked in.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player. Excellent at the free throw line.
Here's Kleber. Burke covering. Kleber with the bucket. Kleber's got his second bucket.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Pass to Powell. There's 47 seconds left to play in the third. Here's Barrett. It's not going to go for him. So the Mavericks will take it the other way. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Smith. Now, here's Barrett. Guarded by Hardaway. Fades away. That one rolling around and rims out.
Well, his poor shooting is a big reason that they're staring at this deficit right now. He needs to get on track if they're going to find a way to win.
The shot by George, no good. Morris outside. Smith for three. Sinks the three-pointer. Smith's got his third basket of the night.
That's great elevation there. Dennis Smith Jr. getting off the floor to shoot that Jake.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Maverick. And let's listen to head coach Rick Carlisle review the game plan with his...
Keep playing. Take turnovers out of the game, all right?
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the fourth quarter. On the floor right now for the Mavericks, Kleber is the 4 with Porzingis in the middle. Then there's Doncic. Then it's DeLon Wright. And it's George in at the 1 spot. Drills it from outside.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass.
Morris outside. Kicks it to Burke. To the paint. Stolen away. Here's Porzingis with fast break chance. From deep, George, another three for Dallas.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those three-point attempts.
Knicks trailed by 19. Bird, the pass to Barrett. Here's Knox, guarded by Doncic. And the basket by Knox.
Well, Knox finding his way around the rim and then pretty versatile to finish.
And the Mavericks call time here. Most every team now, Brent, looking to run when they can run. Who's the most lethal big man in transition? Who can get baseline to baseline in a hurry and make a difference at the other end?
I don't think I've seen any player do the type of things at his size and with his stride than Giannis. I just think there were eye-popping plays that people could not wrap their head around what it is he could do. Taking 2 steps from half court, lengthening out his right arm to finish at the rim, grabbing offensive rebounds from the block, not taking any steps and dunking it over the top and getting to the free throw line. Giannis running in transition as a big is a problem for the defense.
And all that on the offense, but on his defensive side, he was always doing the same kind of things defensively. Blocking shots, blocking out, whatever the case may be.
Yep, causing, I mean, just the simple fact of being a deterrent, Kevin, to people coming into the lane and using that length. I mean, Giannis Antetokounmpo is something special in that regard as
both
a big.
ends of the floor, I totally agree. The deep three from George. The long distance three is Barrett. George has got 9 points in the quarter.
Strong work for him at the offensive end, helping them to maintain that lead.
Here's the pass to Knox. Here's Ntilikina. And a miss there on the triple.
Not sure how he finds himself in so much space there. He's kicking himself for whiffing a bit on that one.
Oh, that's blocked. It's out of bounds. The Mavericks able to retain possession here. We're in the fourth quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone.
And that was almost a block. Still did enough to alter the shot.
Yeah, altering the shot just as long as there's a miss, that kind of energy not wasted.
And the whistle blows as the basket counts and a three-point play chance right here. One free throw coming up. Brent, when we talk about home court advantage, do you feel it's the same as it used to be? It has that same impact?
I do think it's still hugely important, Kevin. It's less important when there's a team that has been together for a long time and has proven that they can take their wares on the road and come home with a victory. But it absolutely gives you a level of comfort as a player to get into your routine, to be at a place that seems familiar. Something deep down psychologically helps every member of that team being at home.
George from deep three-point land. Good. And the assist goes to Doncic. 34 points for George. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. Without question, George is displaying his skills today.
A smart move here. Talk things over. He's really eating them up, and they've tried a few different looks defensively. Nothing quite getting it done.
And now a moment to take a look at our Jordan Player of the Game.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
He sure has given this crowd a treat tonight. This kind of performance only cements his status as a fan favorite. Ntilikina looking it over. Here's Randall. Porzingis with the block, but he stays with it. And he lobs it up toward the rim. Doncic outside for the three, and there's George. That's good on the assist by Doncic. And it's 37 points for George.
They're in total command of this game with time starting to run out.
Yeah, looking for a miracle worker out there is the opposing coaching staff. I don't know that they have one. This game seems to be well in hand.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for Dallas.
This was a very efficient offense tonight.
And they found a way to get their shots to go down. A little luck didn't hurt. A lot of their 50-50 shots fell their way.
And the win-loss column tonight. There's the three, and again for three. He's really sniping them from outside.
Locked in, feeling confident in that three-point shot.
So no problem. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Brett Berry, and